Good morning, lovely souls. Happy Friday. Tim Wild's Friday Ascension update from the woods. Hopefully I'm not going to get bitten by midges. It is now mid-season in the UK. And been a lovely couple of days. Got all of the platinum celebrations going on in the alternative universe. Which brings me on to the subject of defining our energetic boundaries and how important it is at the moment to be working with our powers of alchemy. Okay, now when we talk about alchemy on a sort of a 3D level, we're thinking about kind of like, you know, wizardy witchy types in a basement, like with pots of like, you know, fizzing coloured liquid, but and transforming metals and the physical stuff. But the spiritual alchemy is where the true power lies. Okay, so you listening to me this morning, as you're tuning in, you are an alchemist. Okay, your very presence on this world has the ability to alchemize one frequency to another. But that alchemy, the alchemy that you create, the alchemy that you are working with, is solely dependent on your personal vibration. So take a few moments now to sit, just quietly tune into your universe around you. And as you do so, take stock of your personal vibration. Where are you at this precise moment in time? Are you coming to the end of your day as you listen to this? Is it the middle of the day, or are you waking up to this message? Just take a few moments to stop. Tune into what's around you. But also be aware of this incredibly powerful unit that you now occupy. Okay, we've always lived in a matrix where the power of the human mind and the body and the physical presence relies on what we create for ourselves. And of course, as if you've heard me kind of summarize in other videos, the third dimensional matrix was so successful because it managed to, for other words, make human beings captives of energy, captives of their own minds, and captives of the ego. And as we're breaking out from this by pure vibration and triggers alone, to begin with, from the cosmic moment onwards, we kind of erupted from our previous limited state into a much higher, brighter energy format. But the mind stayed, or is still staying, where it was or is in many cases, trapped in the confines of the programming that existed for thousands and thousands of years. The power of everything that we do now on the Ascension pathway is by the purity of our own vibration. Okay, so we're looking at everything going on around us at the moment in either a state of awe, shock, wonderment, confusion, and for want of a word, quite a fair amount of trepidation. What's happening to us? Where are we going? Who's in control of all of the situations that we're witnessing in the world around us? And the truth of the matter is, we are. Okay, every single one of us on the Ascension pathway, as it currently stands, and as especially over the coming months and years, we are in the driving seat. Okay, so the news and the media and all of the distractions, you know, there's been all of this hullabaloo about this very prominent, I'm not going to mention any names, but this very prominent kind of court case that's going on. All of these things serve to harvest attention and energy and distract people from where they should be bringing their intention and focus to. So I've said that I used these terms previously. Around us is a carnival or a circus or a party, and everywhere we look there's a different show to witness. In one side it could be like in this circus, it could be the elephants walking around in a circle. On the other side it can be the trapeze artists. Somewhere in the middle someone's doing stunts with fire, and everyone's like ooh, ah, and focusing on this. And ultimately this is that particular show, that carnival, all of the fun things that we get drawn into are distractions. Okay, so with what is occurring around us in the world, take a few moments just to stop, check your vibration. Where is your focus going? What are you tuned into? What information are you taking in? And once you've assessed that, be aware of how this is affecting your vibration. Be aware of how it is impacting on the world or the collective frequency that you are wishing to create. And there's another facet of this as well. There's a lot of people, and I understand this, I truly do, from the centre of my heart, who are really struggling with the wake-up process, with isolation, with the pressure of the world around us. Again, that is another program which serves to harvest attention and energy. So in some ways today I'm talking about the process of personal alchemy dependent on circumstances and how to move away from it. Because with the progress that we're making at the moment, we've moved through so many energetic gateways. These energetic gateways are huge, they're golden, they're sparkling, they're filled with light. The other side of the gateway, we're surrounded by the angels and the ascended masters, and every time we walk through these gateways we do it individually and collectively as a choice, as part of this ascension process, and our vibration goes up. And every time our vibration goes up, we are immediately pushed to release yet more of the previous programs, distractions, weights, anchors that held us in the third dimension. Now, as we're moving to the solstice, there's a vast fear release going on around this planet. As I was talking about on Monday, it's kind of being orchestrated and organised by Archangel Michael. Now, some of you or many of us might be starting to feel like, oh, there's more assistance coming in, but does any change actually occur? If you're looking in the right places, if you're using your eyes to focus with the correct vibration and intention, you can see exactly how much work is being done, how much progress we're being made. But the second you tune into the carnival, the circus acts that are going on around us, and they are circus acts, then that vibration immediately comes back down to the control level. So we're being asked to use our personal alchemy at the moment very wisely. And this isn't just going to be a temporary thing that takes us through this current little phase, the fear release. The whole intention of us living together as a fifth dimensional community is to be using our alchemy, our power, our manifestation, our heart-centered consciousness for the higher good that serves our own truths, the universal truth, and also the collective. Okay, now everybody has got different perspectives on the universe, even all of us. Say in 10 years' time, 6 billion people have walked through the Ascension gateway and are on the way to mastering themselves and planet Earth and all of the things that we've been kind of given and soul contracted to do. There is still going to be a multitude of different perspectives, 6 billion, because every single person has got a different perspective on the universe. But it all comes down to heart-centered vibration and points of focus. So at the moment, we are being asked to start using our personal alchemy with power for the highest good. Okay, so just try it for a day. Okay, just try it for a day, or maybe 2 days, or 7 days. Anything that you are presented with, anything that might distract you or lower your vibration or capture your attention so that you get tuned into it and then become part of that frequency, alchemize it. Use the violet flame. Call Archangel Michael to come in and cut your cords and attachments, or alternatively do it yourself. Okay, get a crystal. I mean, I've got my crystal skull with me this morning, but if you have, say, a Lemurian crystal or a piece of quartz or anything, practice cutting your cords and your attachments to things which are blatantly either taking your energy and your focus, and return back to that purity, that center. As the fear is released around us, the intensity of the distractions, of the circus, of the carnival, the parties will increase. Okay, so again, I've used this analogy many times. You take a pond, and that pond might look still and clear, and you throw a rock into it. As soon as the rock finishes doing its splashing and goes to the bottom of the pond, all of the silt comes to the surface. So all of this shiny bright light that comes in from the multiverse, from the seven suns, from the core of the universe, as we're moving towards the solstice gateway, and then ultimately or penultimately towards the Lion's Gate, all of this light coming in, all of these daily build-ups stir the ponds, stir the silt. And then all of a sudden, all around us, we have all of these very kind of like these vibrations that pull on us, which want to distract us and take our energy. A lot of people, some of you might be aware of the term out there now called energy harvesting, which is very prominent in the third dimensional matrix. Huge kind of collective events occur which are sponsored or very much kind of pushed by the media, are used to harvest energy because the collective feels an emotion towards that event or that happening or those circumstances, or they have a point of focus on a daily basis which tunes into or invests in other situations, and that energy is used. It is used or harvested to sustain the third dimensional matrix. There are beings in etheric or in the astral which actually use it as food. So at the moment they're starting to get hungry, okay, because for you and for me, once we've unplugged from that, that is a huge source of light that has disappeared. Okay, that words can't express the hole one of us leaves when we unplug and move away from putting our power and our light into that dimensional space. And so now you can see, if you look at it from that perspective, why the efforts to keep us there are so powerful, so strong, so well organized, so thought of in advance. And so you might be feeling this at the moment. You might be feeling this incredible flex, this pressure, the light coming in, the silt from the pond as it's being stirred up, the pull to be distracted by something which is ultimately very entertaining in the media, but has a certain vibration. It's been created to serve the third dimension by harvesting energy, harvesting attention. So be the alchemist, okay? Be the alchemist, detach from that, raise your vibration. When I talk about energy alchemy, I'm talking about the vibration of light that you hold transforms everything around you to vibrate at your frequency. That is how energy works, okay? If you take light in its natural form, you know, it doesn't matter what dimensional space that you're looking at it or coming from, it doesn't want to be solid. It doesn't want to be in a set format. The third dimensional matrix is created but by extremes, okay, of making energy solid. I'm solid energy matter, I'm a physical body. But ultimately my source energy is light. It's higher, it's finer, it's brighter, it moves, it does. Solid objects are only solid if I want them to be, because I create them to be that way. But the third dimension, it's set up under that pressure. So as we alchemize the vibration of everything around us by being by deliberately setting our frequency at a fifth dimensional level, working with our hearts, working with our chakras, working with the angels, the dragons, the unicorns, the masters, the higher beings of light, we are setting a different frequency up, and we've all done that together now very, very effectively. But it needs more, okay? It needs more. The golden bridge needs solidifying. The foundations need more adding to them. We've got the golden foundations in place. Now the brickwork is starting. And once the brickwork is coming together very, very nicely, but there are so many distractions. People will be building very nicely one day, and they're like, I've done a beautiful day's work. My part of the wall is built. And then all of a sudden they get drawn into something else, or we get drawn into something else, and the brickwork stops for a little bit. What we're going to be looking at doing is to having a continuous flow of building going on, like on a regular basis. And I've used the analogy before of people stepping out when they need a rest, when a break or something is occurring, and somebody else steps in and continues the brickwork, the building. I think it's now got to the point all the time where we are stepping away from the building process less and less, that we don't need to be distracted on the level that we are. And to be aware of where our energy goes and our attention and intention is flowing is one of the first things that we should always do when we set our feet on the floor in the morning and go about the day of heart-centered creation, is just always be aware of your surroundings. Always be aware of how your personal vibration is affecting the fifth dimensional matrix, whether you are still tuned in or plugged into 3D in any way. How are you affecting other people? How are you impacting on the ascension process in general? And this doesn't mean being hypercritical and super hard upon yourself, because that in itself is a trap. You know, we can get so drawn into being this chalice of, you know, like impeccable purity that it becomes a parody of kind of self-punishment in many ways, where we can't say, oh no, I've done it again. And it's simply breathe, flow, relax our way through this phase, and allow your vibration, just be aware of how powerful you are at this time, okay? And for every single act of good that you do, be it a thought, be it a word, be it an action, that is establishing very powerfully a vibration around you, which everything then steps up to. This natural flow, the energy does not wish to be dense around us anymore. It doesn't want to be contained. It doesn't want to be solid. It wants to flow and create with love. Love is the harmony that is the driving force behind the ascension process. But it's so easy to be drawn in. It's so easy to be distracted at this time. So as I'm speaking these words, I can feel Merlin always steps forth for the solstice, for the Lion's Gate, and we're working with Ascended Master Vuzlu the other day, Serapis Bey. A lot of the masters who were alchemists are assisting at the moment. And the greatest alchemy that I saw, I think, or the creation of spiritual alchemy that I witnessed, was the storm layer that was created in August 2019. So the storm layer was created, and if you're new to the channel, you haven't heard me talk about the storm layer before. The storm layer, this incredible fast-moving body of energy that moves around our planet continuously like a cycle, with a cyclonic motion, that was activated to assist all of us to move large bodies of very dense energy from the planet, from groups of collective people, to be alchemized and turned into higher light, to assist us to do our job more easily. Now, the storm layer is going to be discontinued from this August onwards. It will have been 3 years of this continual alchemy. And it was the activation of that made me realise that something big was coming from August 2019 onwards. And of course, we've had 2020, we've had 2021 this year as well. So from this August onwards, from this Lion's Gate onwards, Merlin and his team are going to be deactivating the storm layer, and a more powerful alchemy is then going to be put in place, or the next phase of the building. So between now and the solstice, between now and the Lion's Gate, begin to become incredibly, or if I'm sure most of you are already, be kind to yourselves. And that is the art form of the beginning of the alchemy of love. Okay, so self-love, kindness, that I see that as it's like a spiritual art form with ourselves. Because once we're kind and loving to ourselves, we automatically display that vibration to others. People gravitate towards you, gravitate towards us, and then they pass that alchemy, that vibration of love to other people. And there's a lot of opportunities to be very angry with the world and be angry with people at the moment, to be critical of those that aren't where we are. And that's something that I also believe that we need to drop very quickly. It's the judgment of others who may not have stepped into the role of responsibility that we have, those that are still seeing from a third dimensional perspective. They're still going to the parties, they're still going to the third dimensional carnival. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Worry about yourself, worry about your vibration. Set it at love and watch the ultimate and the most powerful alchemy spread around this planet. Okay, that alchemy, that vibration transforms everything, absolutely everything. And if we're all doing it, this will all go so much. It will happen so smoothly, so cohesively. Many of us will be wondering, well, where was all, you know, like when are the sparks going to really start flying? They won't. We will simply move from one state of collective consciousness into another, and everything will build around us to match that vibration. Doesn't have to be calamities. It doesn't have to be the things that people are fear seeding for us to get involved with in the third dimension. It's all about the alchemy of love. And with that, sending you all so much love, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Be back on Monday. Bye for now.